coming across. It's very, very low res at the moment. On the monitor, I usually look all right, but at the moment I'm looking like I'm made out of Lego. So that's all right, because, you know, I'm a low resolution fox. So that's all good. I'm on my boat dock after a hard day of work here on Jinja Island. Sorry I didn't set the camera up this afternoon, well, this evening for you, but this afternoon for us, to show you what we were doing. But it wasn't that interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like, we were just finishing off doing a few bits on the floor, like the corner, like the edges and stuff. I need like half pieces cut, and then we were doing work on the paneling on the walls, which I'm planning to paint. I'm going to paint the inside of the house, I think. I'm going to go into town tomorrow and buy some paint. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. I'm just sick of like how sort of gloomy it is in there, you know? I kind of want to make it a little bit more exciting. Anyway, I don't know if anyone's watching this. It says that no one's watching it. Oh, one person is watching it so far. That's cool. So welcome, whoever you are. Not had no chats yet. So, but if anyone does want to give us a chat, I mean, like, just say something. Oh, there you go. Shropshire Chris is there. Thank you, Shropshire Chris. I'm going to take a Rene. This is me on my island taking drugs. Oh, man. The jungle is massive. Basically, I've got to take some Rene because I've got a sore stomach. Acid reflux. No good, is it? Do you know what probably doesn't help with that? Beer. But it is what it is. Ruth is in there, and John is in there as well. Hello. So, I thought you might be able to guide me with what you want to talk about this evening. But I mean, I suppose the big story of today is, you know, the Americans killed the Ayatollah Khomeini. Well, funnily enough, the Iranians found another Ayatollah Khomeini. What are the chances? So that's the supreme leader now. So well done, America. Well done on bombing them into the Stone Age. I don't think it worked. It's a big country. I keep saying this. Really big country. It's a big country. 300 people died in Lebanon today. Absolutely horrific scenes. It's still caused by like a small handful of men. Tech bros, religious fundamentalists, oil oligarchs, gobshites. Just a handful of them. And they're causing all this chaos. There was a question that was asked on one of the TikTokers that I watched, Jason Pargan, and he was saying if there was an election coming up and it was an all-white person against an absolute fucking monster who would bring in fascism, and within 9 months there would be no free press if the monster gets it. But then you found out something horrific that was implicated the other candidate, the supposed good candidate, and you were the only person who knows about it, and it also implicates the vice president. Would you say anything, or would you hold off until after the election, even if you knew? Sorry, if everyone would then know that you had sat on it until after the election. And I was thinking about it. It's a good question to ask, like your models and stuff. And I'm very much Luthien, you know, from Andor about this. I will burn everything. I will burn my reputation to keep fascism away, you know, to keep the people I know and love from the wolves. I don't give a fuck. I wouldn't say anything until after the election, and then I'd spill the beans. And then if the newly elected president and the vice president end up having to quit their job and someone else has to take over, okay, cool, give a shit, as long as it's not the fascist. As long as it's not the fascist. Because as they say in The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, the version that we in Britain weren't allowed to see until the 1980s, if we lose this war, there isn't going to be a rematch next year. Simple as that. Who else in the chat? Graham, I'm here too, says Snowy Cat. Hello, Snowy. Liz Allen is there as well. Sarah Davis. You look relaxed there, Graham. Is it raining on the island? No. It's been a really nice day today. It's been a bit of cloud cover. It's not been too hot. It's not been too cold. It's just been nice. You know, it's just been chill. Something that I want to bring to your attention though is I've watched back on a couple of videos that I've put out already, and for some reason my phone, which is a Google Pixel phone operating on a Google fucking Android operating system, sending a video signal to Google owned YouTube, which is owned by fucking Google, for some reason, because my phone decides it wants to do videos in, I think it's instead of 16 by 9, it's like 20 by 9, so it's like slightly stretched. And on the videos I've seen, I've looked like a fucking cone head, and I fucking hate that. I hate being at even slightly the wrong aspect, pixel aspect ratio. Like, I even hate it. So back in the day when we had NTSC in America, they're the same colour twice. Doesn't matter where, does it? And then in the UK, obviously we have PAL. The shape of the pixels were different. So in a PAL pixel, it was more long, and in a NTSC pixel, it was more tall. And so when you moved from one format to the other, you had to accommodate for that switch. And here we are in 2026, when the pixels are all square. They've been square since the advent of HD, you know? The light comes on. And for some strange reason, I look like a fucking conehead in all the videos that I've seen of myself. And so my question to you tonight is, am I looking like a conehead at the moment? Is the aspect ratio correct, or has Google fucked it up again? Because I did everything it said. I went on the internet, it said update YouTube, so I've done that. It said clear out your cookies and your cache, I did that. It said reset your phone, I did that. It said make sure your settings aren't set to 4:3, and I'm like, honestly mate, if it was 4:3, you'll fucking know about it. The problem is, my phone is transmitting 16 by 10, and YouTube is interpreting it as 16 by 9. So it's like squishing the picture and making me squish. So if anyone can tell me what's going on there, let me know. Sounds like it's raining. It might just be the water on the boat dock. Far right, not quite, or plainly wrong. Degrees of understanding and how I hate binary definitions. It's mixed up, fucked up world, methinks, says Phil Nelson. Yeah. I was watching Younger Graham for 2023 earlier. Oh. Maybe one day I'll put on my videos from 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Jesus. In 2 years' time, I'm going to be able to put videos up on the internet of me from 30 years ago. That's crazy. 1998. I got my first camera. Longer and taller, you might say. Yes. Explain to hat. Looks okay on my Chinese phone. Looks okay. It looks fine on my Samsung. Cone isn't the word I would use. Just kidding. You got a square you could hold up. Yeah. Have you ever noticed in the film Pulp Fiction where it says don't be a square, she doesn't actually draw a square? Well, actually she does draw a square, but because of the way that the film is stretched to make there's a word. It means basically they take a 4:3 or square film, 4:3 film, and they stretch it out to make it widescreen. And so when they film it, actually people are cone heads, they're quite long, and then they stretch it out. And that was a standard in Hollywood for a very long time, before the advent of digital, where it didn't matter anymore. But that's also why in films, when you see lens flare in films, right, it should be completely circular, like a rainbow, right? It should be a circle. But it's not, because they've taken the film and they've stretched the film out So when you get lens flare in the film, it's actually this shape. It's kind of like oval, right? It's kind of like wider out the middle, right? It bulges at the equator. And the reason for that is because the film is stretched. So when you try and make a film like when they made the new Star Trek film, and they had all these, I think they called them bokes or something, bokeh things. There's a word for it. When you get these lens flares, they had to make, even though they didn't need to because it was all digital, they made those lens flare that shape because that's the shape we're used to seeing lens flares. But if you think about it, when you see someone takes a picture and it has those little dots on it from the sun, that like trail of dots that you used to get on your cold day, they were always completely circular. But in a movie, oval. True story. Anyway, if you turned off the sound and just the hand gestures, looks like Graham is doing a step song. I like that. Thank you. Remember pan and scan on films on TV? That was terrible. Yeah. Well, now we've gone the opposite way, where they've taken things like The Wire, which was shot in 4:3, and they've made it into 16:9. And one of the mad things about this is a lot of stuff was shot like on TV and that. It was shot on film. It was shot on 4:3 film, and then when they were making it sort of widescreen, they would just basically crop the top and the bottom off. So when they did the 16:9 remaster, the widescreen remaster of The Wire, there were a lot of complaints because they were using the full frame, but it wasn't quite appropriate for the scene. And sometimes there's things in the frame that aren't really supposed to be there, but it doesn't matter because it's right at the top or right at the bottom, and you know it's going to get cropped out. Yeah, that's so we've gone the other way now. But yeah, when we were younger, to get on a 4:3 TV screen, you'd often see pan and scan, and you see it now. They do it on TikTok videos. They'll do it. Like there'll be an episode, there'll be like a clip from the news agents, and it'll like pan really badly. It's like like this. Yeah. Pan and scan was bad. Cone isn't the word. The image looks fine, says John. I don't want to hear that it sounds fine, John. I want to know it looks perfect. It's got to look perfect. Any news from your friends and contacts in Ukraine? Not at the moment. I mean, the guy that we dropped the Lego off with a couple of years ago, when we did the Lego run for Christmas, he came back with those amazing pictures of like kids, like Ukrainian kids holding all these Lego toys, like hundreds. We bought hundreds of Lego toys. He's mad now, but like, yeah. He's based in Kharkiv, and like that place got hammered last year quite a bit by the Russians, but the Ukrainians are a very resilient people, and they are not putting up with Russia's shit. They're not prepared to put up with it, and I've got no sympathy for the fucking mad fucking ayatollahs of Iran, but I do have a lot of sympathy for the people of Iran. We not only have had to put up with a mad fucking bunch of crazed dictators telling them what to do for the last 47 years, but also, I mean, religious lunatics, but also like, now they're having to put up with being attacked by the US because Pete Keg's breath, just all he cares about is big thing go bang. The guy's demented. So's Trump. He does look like he's on his way out, doesn't he? Is that just me? Have you seen the mark on his neck that's going around? Pictures of that? Yeah, it doesn't look good. Old game emulators, 3 old CRT standards, something of a niche retro hobby, says Phil Nelson. I'll tell you something interesting. Well, I think it's interesting. When they designed Simon Belmont in Castlevania or Super Mario or Metroid for the original NES and for the Super Nintendo, right? Those games, when they were designing these little tiny characters for them, they knew that because they'll be watched on a CRT TV, you wouldn't get the definition between the pixels that kind of bleed into each other a little bit because of the way that CRTs work. And so you'll get this kind of fuzziness around the character, but they wanted that because they didn't want it to be defined blocks. And we forget this now because we'll go back and we'll look at something like Manic Miner or something where, you know, obviously it's this little blocky man, but it didn't look, and we forget this now, it didn't look that blocky on an old CRT TV. When you ran Lemmings through your TV, through your Amiga into a CRT TV, the actual Lemmings, they looked a bit fuzzy. They looked a bit like, you know, that they weren't just dot like a square. They didn't look necessarily like they were made out of Lego. But now, when we get emulators emulating a lot of these old games, they don't add the fuzz, and so it's not quite the experience that we had growing up with those games. It's a bit of a weird thing, and it's probably quite nerdy, and I don't know if anyone else gives a shit about this kind of thing, but you know, I do find that quite interesting that when they were putting together like what they wanted the characters to look like, the fuzziness was part of the concept on those old games. Lee Corn is there. Hey, look, Lee, how you doing? I've still got your plaque on the wall with a little unicorn on it. And Dana Shed is there saying, hey all, hey, how's it going? We were talking a little bit about the new Ayatollah. The new what's our feelings about the new Ayatollah? Do we like the new Ayatollah or we don't like the new Ayatollah? I don't know. I think he's probably a baddie. But is he as big a baddie as Trump? Well, here's the thing. I have to talk about how a failed state anywhere in the world has a knock-on effect everywhere else, you know? And so we don't want states to fail, you know? We want states to succeed. We want countries to do well. Because if they're doing well, we do well, generally speaking, you know? And if they're having a war, they've been invaded, or they've invaded somewhere, or whatever, then you still look at that and go, well, you know, that's not great for the region or the world, depending on where it is. I mean, usually it's not good for the world. But with America, I mean, what do we do? What the fuck do we do? Because they are hurtling at 100 miles an hour towards becoming a failed state. And I know a lot of Americans are quite, almost surprisingly chill about everything that's going on right now, because they're a bit kind of like, this too shall pass. The madness of King Donnie isn't going to last forever. But I am given to wonder, like, is there a way out of this? Is there a way that America can, and when Trump goes, whether it's in 3 years' time through an election, or whether it's through, you know, a life of eating Big Macs, when he's not president anymore, like, do you think America can, like, get back on the horse? Do you think it'll ever be the country it was? Do you think, like, any kind of... I always felt with America, if anyone gave America any credit, it was always a bit reluctant, wasn't it? We like to diss America. We all like to diss America. And I would find myself occasionally, like, defending America, which I hated. I hated having to defend America. But when people were talking bollocks, I get a bit like, well, I go a bit Phil Morehouse. I go, well, that's not technically true. Even if it's kind of like, I understand where you're coming from, because America... It makes a lot of decisions, and a lot of those decisions are not always the best, right? But they have been the stable core of, what can we call it, the Western European settlement after World War II, the post-World War II settlement, possibly the post-Soviet Union settlement as well. America was at the core of that, and now they've just lost their fucking minds, you know. They've just gone mad. They've just gone absolutely fucking doolally, and they've turned over the world order. And the world's looked back and gone, fuck off. And we've seen this with Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, basically going, fuck this shit. All the medium-sized countries need to get together. And he's trying to be the glue to bring the EU together with the Trans-Pacific Forum Partnership, whatever the fuck it's called, TPP, TCP, TPP, whatever it's called. And if he does that, if he's successful at that, we're in that stupid. I mean, it's not stupid, but you know, it's stupid that we're in the Pacific Partnership when we're not in the Pacific. I don't really. Well, I suppose Pitcairn Islands is in the Pacific, so you know, mutineers, paedophiles. Okay, cool. They're in the Pacific. But yeah, what a weird way to rejoin the EU. But yeah, I mean, the way that the world is going right now, America is never going to replace. It's never going to regain what it once had. Gave it away, blew it up. You lunatics. And when it comes to politics or anything in life, relationships, friendships, even commerce, like just buying stuff, there's a certain degree of trust that has to come with that. And once that trust is blown, right, once someone who you know dearly trust, believing, you know, lies to you or does something to, you know, make your life fucking difficult, whatever. Once you lose trust, it's so difficult to get it back. It's so difficult to get it back. And we've all done this. You know, you hear about a celebrity that you like and someone says to you, well, I met them once and they were cunt. And then there's always a bit like, oh, I kind of wish I didn't know that. I mean, you know, fair enough if it's someone who's like does criminally bad things, that's something else. But yeah, once that trust is broken, once the shininess is tarnished in any way, we as humans do have a tendency to be a bit once bitten, twice shy. And I really don't see anyone I know, anyone I hang out with, from anywhere in the world, ever thinking that they're having the same relationship with America as a country ever again after Trump. I just don't see it. They've broken that bond of trust, and although we couldn't always trust America to do the right thing, it often didn't do the right thing. It made movies about how it always did the right thing. Actually, that's a lie. America just makes movies about everything it does. It's very loud and obnoxious. It's like, oh, look, we did this thing. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, doesn't matter. We'll make a movie about it so everyone fucking knows about our entire fucking history of everything that we ever did. But I think there has been something broken here that can never be repaired. Because I think even though America would often do stupid fucking shit and infuriating shit and elect dickheads to be president like George W. Bush and Trump twice, George W. Bush twice, at the end of the day, we always felt, I feel, like if we were really in the shit, America would come to our aid. That was the post-war settlement. It's gone now. I don't trust them. I don't trust them as far as I can spit. I don't think they're going to come to our aid. I think they're going to stand there and laugh us die. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to watch it on their YouTubes, on their TikToks. They're going to watch us suffer. They're going to watch us starve. They're going to watch us die of preventable fucking diseases. They're going to watch us kill each other because of immigrants and trans people existing. Oh my God. And they're just going to sit there and eat popcorn and laugh. And yeah, like I say, I don't see there's any way back from this. I'm going to read some of the chat though, because obviously I'm blabbling away. I don't know if you can even hear me. I've probably got a bit of wind. I don't mean I've got wind. That's not why I took the Rene. I took the Rene because I had a bit of gastric reflux. But yeah, old school emulators. old CRT standards. I was talking about that. I'm freaking out, actually, says Liz. Don't freak out. It's fine. Honestly, I mean, we'll probably be all right. You know, I mean, things aren't great, but it's not. It's not World War III yet, and I don't think it ever will be. I know that might sound it might sound like I'm just being really blasé and perhaps a bit naive, but it's, you see, having Trump be elected as president of the United States is in the interests of the oil oligarchs. People being horrible to trans people as a distraction from net zero and our climate change commitments and the fact that the world is getting hotter. That is in the interest of the oil executives and the oil people, the oil gobshites, and all the people around them. Russia invading Ukraine. Is that a problem for the big oil cartels? Not really, actually, because if anything, it makes their oil worth more because more people are going to buy oil from the Middle East rather than buy it from Russia because Russia's got sanctions against it, or it might be a European country and say, listen, we don't want to buy your fucking oil because you've invaded Ukraine, you daft twats. So is it in the interests of the oil barons? Yeah. When people asked me a couple of years ago why I thought that Trump was going to win the presidential election, I kept on saying, because it's what the billionaires want. It's what the billionaires want. Do they want this? Do they want... World War III will be devastating for the billionaires because they don't know how to do anything. They have these big fucking super yachts. Do you think any of these billionaires can actually operate a super yacht? Do you think they know how? Could they be captain of their own super yacht? No. They pay someone else to be captain of the super yacht who's been trained for years about working at sea. Because the people who have these super yachts, right, these motorised yachts, it's not a sail yacht, it's a motorised yacht, they haven't got the first fucking clue what they're doing. They don't know what anything is. They have no practical skills whatsoever. These are mostly, the vast majority of them, they're Nepo babies who aren't particularly good at anything, but because of their connections and because they can get people excited about the fact that maybe if I give this twat all of my money, this twat will, I don't know, look at me and smile through a TV screen. I don't know why people give money to fucking Elon Musk for their Tesla motors not going to turn up. I know a lot of people who have been stung by the recent sale of a BrewDog, which just fucked over everyone who invested in the company. I get that. I completely get that. I'm not having a pop. I'm not having a go. Right. I just think there are certain people out there in the world who have a knack of taking money off people. And I'm very much of that mentality of fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. How can people fall for Elon Musk's bullshit again and again and again? I don't know if anyone is going to sorry, do you know what, my alarm just went off on my fucking phone, right? And I had to stop it, and I pressed snooze instead of stop, so it's going to do it again in 10 minutes time. Sorry about that. But yeah, Elon Musk, why is anyone still giving him money? Why does anyone still think he's worth a fucking cold pan of scouse? The guy's obviously an idiot. Oh, we got a super chat from Darian to start. £15 super chat. Thank you. £15 English sterling. Donation for cold beer evening, strong coffee morning. Oh, thank you, Darian. Cheers, mate. This is for you, Darian. It's my Panama lager here in Panama. Thank you, Darian. That's where I'm at, Darian. A couple of beers left in the fridge and a bit of coffee for the morning. BrewDog Stout, also knock off much better. Aldi knock off much better, sorry. McGuinness, a lol. Sorry, called Mulligan's, I think. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Apologies to Darian there. I'm just searching around under my bum. I'm on a hammock. For this Super chat! Super chat! Super chat! Sorry, I just woke up. Pickle. Sorry, Pickle. I'm in trouble now. Sorry. Pickle was having a nice sleep. And I thought I'd shout super chat. Super chat! It's better than animation. I think it's better than animation. That's so cool. That's super chat. The funny thing is, it doesn't say super chat if I look at it. If I look at it this way, it doesn't say super. But if I look at it in the phone camera there, it says super chat. That's so cool. Anyway, I might make another one. Better, stronger, faster. So quick hi from bed. Says Diz, hello. Everything looks fine. Oh, I went back too far on the messages. Most Americans have no clue what their country is actually doing. Says Diana Shed. Yeah, they really genuinely don't. I really hate it when they say, "What's it got to do with you?" They always say that, don't they? What's it got to do with you? Why are you talking about American politics all the time? What's it got to do with you? And I'm like, fucking, do you not think this affects us? The price of a barrel of oil has gone up from $65 a barrel to $110 a barrel. And it's not going to stop going up. Because the Strait of Hormuz has been... I mean, it's so fucked. It's so fucked. They look better on CRTs because of the side effect of analog TV signals smoothed out the color changes between pixels. That's what I was talking about, Lee. That's exactly what I was talking about. Smoothed out the color changes so it wasn't like a defined line between each block. It didn't look like a Lego block where you've got like a red Lego block and a white Lego block, and they're clearly defined. So that's really cool. The USA would have to go through something like German or Japanese did after World War II. The way things are going, it took decades for them to rebuild trust and friendship. Yeah, I genuinely think that. Trouble is, it'll be a failed state with nukes. The very good point, Paula. Maybe failed state isn't the right term for this. Maybe it's like a state that's like shot itself in the dick. Is that a term? Is there a German word for shooting yourself in the dick? That's what they're kind of done. It's like you look at Russia and you got the leader of Russia saying, "Oh, Russia's not big enough for half of Ukraine," and you got America. You got the guy in charge of America going, "America's not rich enough. It's the richest country in the fucking world." He's like, "Oh, it's not rich enough. We need to do things to make it richer." And you're like, I really don't think you do, mate. There he is. Spending your hard-earned donations while swinging in a hammock, says Exstellarus Venomous. Well, yeah. Sorry. Phil says, yeah, missed the real emulation of retro gaming. Some emulators try and let you recreate such settings, but it seems a bit complicated. Yeah. The games are made to be played on a CRT monitor with the limitations that a CRT, but with the, I say limitations, but also the what's the word for it? The peculiarities of the CRT monitor. They worked around the peculiarities, assets. I don't know. They worked around. They worked around what they had. Darian Star, thank you. Says, "You are that man and have been for years. And as your mother, it pains me and embarrasses me to say that, but it's sad truth. Get help and take an honest look at yourself." Oh, are you talking to me? Who said that, Damien? Actually, I need to change my settings here so I can see all of the chat. Because it automatically... Oh, wow, I got a little super chat from Damien. Thank you. And Damien put another £5 in. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. That super chat side is so freaking cool. Yeah, it's animated. Like, I suppose this is so low res. This is a little bit like watching a live stream on a. Do you know? 1999, I downloaded the Star Wars Episode 1 trailer, and it took 3 days on our 56k modem in our house, in our shared students' house in Bernage in Manchester. True story. Anyway, Darian, thank you for appreciating the super chat sign. Thank you. I mean, it kind of looks a bit 3D when looking at the camera. Okay, so thank you very much to Darian for the $5 and the 15 quid. So that's kind of cool. That's very cool. Thank you. Rice's Might says it might be right to be right, but to have might is not right. I don't think. I don't know. Old Aristotle there. Aristotle. Yeah, he was all right. He was the last one when it was Socrates first, then Plato, then is it Aristotle the last one? So Socrates. Socrates was the teacher of Plato, and Plato was the teacher of Aristotle. I think. I might be getting that wrong. I don't know. If I am, I'm sorry. I haven't watched the video, but an American YouTube guy called Keith Edwards seems to say that US politicians like Lindsey Graham are vocally encouraging Israel to go as far as using nukes or something. Yeah, probably, because they think it's going to be... They think they're going to herald the end times, you know? The rapture, the apocalypse, revelations, dogs and cats living together. Gruesome old men who are far from sane. That's where I'm at. Darian, I've read that one. Thank you very much for the super chat there, Darian. I've given you a little heart on there. Is Graham safe for US subs attacks? I hear they sneak up and torpedo unsuspecting non-combatants on international waters and no pickup for survivors. I'm pretty safe. The waters here is far, far too shallow for a submarine. Like, I can stand up in the water here. Like, I can stand up in the water. It's fine. Yeah. They're not, even at high tide, they're not coming in. Do not worry. Snowy says, sorry everyone's getting late. I'm usually a night owl, but I have to get up early on mornings, on Monday. So yes, by all means, sleep well, Snowy Cat. Sleep well, my friend. Darian says, Pete Hex's mother said that in an email to him. He responded by insisting she retract it or never let him see her grandkids. Oh my God. What a horrible man. Did you carve that with a small penknife and a long repeat music list? Would love to know what the carving music was. Maybe an album to come. Songs for wood carvers. No. This was done with a router. This is done with a router. It's like a big thing that you hold down, and it's got a little swirly bit. It's good for doing like the edge of like furniture and stuff when you're doing the edge of wood, and also here it just, you know, this particular one sort of goes. I didn't do a very good job of it, to be honest with you. I might make another one of these which is a bit better, but you know, it is made of driftwood. Oh, it's reconnecting, and I think it's done it. I think. Have I changed my aspect ratio? Can you let me know in the chat? Anyway, so yeah, I was telling you about my super chat sign before I got rudely interrupted by my reminder to take my ADHD medication, which I don't actually need because I already took it. Super chat, yeah. It looks kind of cool. I think it looks kind of cool. It is carved in there. You know, it is sort of. But when I was using it, I wasn't quite used to it. So it's like some like right angles there. You see that the way the H goes down, it shouldn't do that. It should go across, and it's a bit of driftwood. Do you know what I mean? And you're there, and you're holding this big machine, right? It's quite heavy, and you push it. You try and do it nice and slow, and then it'll hit a bit of wood that has maybe rotted a bit or something, and it moves. It just jumps forward, and you're like, oh shit! I didn't mean to do that. So it's a bit of a knack, but by the time Marcus left back in 2021 when we were here together, God, that was 5 years ago now. Jesus. Oh, well, 4.5 years ago. back when we were doing that, he taught me how to do it with the router, how to do it properly, and little tricks. He said, get a wax candle and rub that on the board. That makes the router glide across easier. And always, use a G clamp to clamp the wood to the board and everything. And yeah, but by the time he left, I've looked at the names on the walkway, and so that a lot of the plaques on the walls in the house were done by Marcus, but all the ones that were done on the walkway to the house were done by me, and they're really good. Like I tried to do, well, I did one for friends who had given some money, but it had been too late for them to get their name on the thing, because I'd already left the island, I think. And I've done a really shit job of it, to be honest. I need to get the practice in. And get some candles so I can rub the wax onto the. It's a little trick. Someone works like it's someone's a master of a particular thing. They'll always give you great little tips that you can take away and use for the rest of your life. Best one for scouse, making scouse. My friend Dave Critchley, who said, "Graham, don't pick between beef and lamb. Just put beef and lamb in there." And I was like, whoa! Never actually thought that was a possibility before, but it is, and it works. In the same way that Marcus, said, if you're carving names into a plaque, into a bit of wood, with a router, bit of wax, put a bit of wax on. Jobs are good. And, we got another super chat. This is from Andrew Ray this time. Thank you, Andrew Ray. Very kind of you. Super sign. We don't like religious zealots, nor dictators who disallow secular governance and honest elections. Any religion is inherently prejudicial. Ex-choir boy. Thank you very much for the super chat, fellow ex-choir boy. I was an ex-choir boy. Were you in a Catholic? Were you a Catholic choir boy, or were you a Protestant choir boy? Let me know in the chat. But thank you very much for the super chat. Super chat. We got a super chat. Woo. Routers take a lot of practice. Super chat sign is legend though. Oh, thank you. Nietzsche is probably niche. Yeah, probably. That thing about the Pete Texas mother is fucking crazy, isn't it? That is kind of fucking crazy. But yeah, Protestant for 3 years. Yeah, me too. I was Protestant. Although some of my family are Catholic, some of my family are Protestant. My mum has been baptised twice. If you're watching this, hi mum. She's guaranteed her spot in heaven. But yeah. Just to go back to the original idea, what I was going to talk about this evening. They've got a new Ayatollah. Nothing has changed. As I was saying this morning, if you want to affect regime change, this isn't the way to do it. This absolutely isn't the way to do it. And in fact, I think that America has condemned the good people of Iran to have to put up with this shit that is the Ayatollahs and the revolutionary Islamic fucking guard, or whatever they call themselves, being in charge for another fucking decade or so. I think Trump has done that. Because there's nothing like people dropping bombs on you fucking schools, on your girls' schools, and killing 170 innocent people. There's nothing like that. And then double tapping, so they send another fucking missile as the emergency services are turning. There's nothing like that to turn an entire population, not just against America and Israel, which I'm sure they pretty much were anyway, but also to make a population rally around its leader. Look what happened at 9/11. Did 9/11 result in America going, oh my God, maybe we are gobshites. Maybe we should, buckle up and fly straight from now on. No. They not only rallied round the flag and went on about how great George W. Bush is when he was a fucking idiot. Although he looks like a genius compared with Trump. Gee, fuck me. Not only that, they decided that America should go on to daft military adventures in Iraq and Afghanistan, which ended up destabilizing the entire region, causing knock-on effects in the governments of Tunisia and Egypt and Libya and Syria, and ending up with the advent of ISIS, which took its brand of fucking fanaticism all the way from places in Pakistan and Afghanistan all the way across to Nigeria, where Boko Haram, which began in 2009, began as a response to what had been going on in the Middle East. So how did that work out for you, Osama bin Laden? You thought that you'd attack America, and then America would go, oh yeah, that's a good point. Did they do that? No, they didn't. In fact, they made a bad situation a lot fucking worse. The law of unintended consequences. And yet here we are. What I want to know is why they couldn't have just typed it into AI. Is bombing Iran a good idea? And then the AI would have gone no. Because even though AI is shite, it's not that shite. I mean, you'd have to be really fucking stupid. You have to be a particular flavour of dickhead to actually believe that by bombing a country, you're going to make the people there go, you know what, we should get rid of our leaders now. We don't like them. Just doesn't work that way. Just does not work that way. Bloody hell, I can't believe it's been 5 years since Marcus went to Jinja. I know, it's crazy! It's crazy! As a former missionary, I don't want any aspect of religion in politics except the acceptance of others and respecting their views and religious beliefs as long as they don't disrupt another's beliefs. Yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that. I mean, I don't have, I've said this before, I don't have a problem with people's beliefs, people's religion. I think that if that's what makes them happy, that helps them navigate the world and their life and their relationships. Honestly, great, cool. I'm when I was younger, I was much more of a militant atheist, and I was much more angry about religion and how much trouble it causes in the world. But I've mellowed out a little bit in my old age. The one thing that still drives me up the wall, though, is the way that we segregate children into different schools depending on the flavour of God that they worship. Oh, which flavour of God do you... Well, I'm a Christian. Okay, well, did you go to Christian school? No, you got to go... Which flavour of the flavour? Which, of a Christian eye. Oh, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. Oh, I'm a Presbyterian. Oh, I'm a Methodist. Oh, I'm a Protestant. I'm a Catholic. I'm a whatever. Okay, well, you need to send your kid to a different school depending on, whether you're fucking peach plum flavour or whether you're fucking cherry banana flavour. That makes no sense. Do you send kids to different schools depending on what football team their parents support? Do you fuck? What movies they like? This is the school for the children of parents who never cared for The Godfather. Yeah, I really wish we would stop doing that, especially in Northern Ireland, where to continue to do that after 1998 is just fucking mental. Like, why we do that, I've no idea. So my chicky boos, I'm down to 20% energy, so I've got my little pack here for charging my phone. It was plugged into my light, which might go out at some point. I hope not. That was quite nice. I plugged in my charger cable, and then I got this light that went across the screen like that. That must be what Google phones do when you plug them in. Hi, all watching on catch up. Ooh. And Nietzsche, lol, can never remember the spelling. Neither can I. But that's okay. I know what you meant. Down show with the power tools, you need a clear objective plan, support guides, a good clear operating environment, measure correctly, check several times, a bit like war. Yeah. Right, I missed this. Better to redo when it's finished now. Catch the first 45 minutes. Oh, don't worry, it's just me. It's you don't have to go back to the beginning. It's just me talking shit in a hammock. It's when it's forced on others that it becomes a problem. Yeah, it's not just the forcing of another religion on others, because a lot of the time it's not actually forced as much. Like I mean, there were times in history where someone would turn up with a sword and say, "Do you believe in this flying spaghetti monster?" And the person they were asking, who was being asked the question, said no, and they went bleh, and like stabbed them with the sword. And then they went to the next person, standing there in the line, and said, "Do you believe in the flying spaghetti monster?" And they would go, "Fuck yes, I believe in the flying spaghetti monster. Yes, and so do all my family and all my friends and everyone I know and everyone I've ever met. We all, yeah, that one, yeah." But the reality was that a lot of places like maintain their own religions and their own practices, often in secret, away from the people who are trying to force conversions. However, you did have situations where you had missionaries going out and converting people. And, I'm not saying they did it down the barrel of a gun necessarily, but they didn't always use, and they still don't, what I would regard as like nice methods in order to achieve their goal, like honourable methods, right? And what I mean by that is, say for instance, you go to a developing nation, and you go to a small town in the developing nation, and what you do is you set up go to a village, right? A little village in a developing nation, and you set up the only school there. The only school. There's only one school. There's only one free school, right? And you say anyone can come to this school. But if you go to that school, you are given a Christian upbringing, a Jehovah's Witness upbringing, or a Mormon upbringing, or whatever is integrated into the school syllabus, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you don't have a choice because there's no other school to go to. And I always think that's a bit sneaky. I always think that's a bit. And also, things that have happened in the past, like when Muslim missionaries went out into West Africa, they told people that if they were Muslim, they couldn't be enslaved. So a lot of people convert. There's a lot of people from the Sahara and from the south of the Sahara deserts. They converted to Islam. That's why there's a lot of Muslims in Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal, etc. And I mean, it's not the only reason. There are other reasons as well. But yeah, it stopped them becoming slaves to the Arab slave traders. Didn't stop them becoming slaves to the to British slave traders, French, Spanish, Portuguese. Yeah, they didn't ask you religion before they put you on a ship. So yeah, some people converted down the barrel of a gun. Some people converted because they honestly believed in it and it made sense to them. And some people did it out of sheer practicality. They didn't want to be enslaved, or they didn't want to be treated as a second-class citizen. And this is where I think, well, religion should be something that people can work together to create nice things, nice places of worship, and work together to, better the community and things like that. So I'm not necessarily like angry. I'm not like, oh my God, I've got to stop all religion, because I know you can't. It's like drugs. We were talking about that yesterday. I know it exists. It's not for me, and that's fine. I might partake in a little bit. Whenever I go somewhere new, there's a beautiful cathedral, or a mosque, or a temple, or whatever, or a Buddhist shrine, and I go and visit it. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily now, oh my God, I'm really into Buddhism now. I'm going to go and see this stupa. Just, I'm kind of interested in the same way that just because I'm on ADHD medication doesn't mean I'm like, yes, everyone should be on fucking speed all the time. But yeah, so there's the where I draw the line is simply this: your religion should give you your rules to live by, and this is put very well to me by a close religious friend of mine, who I asked about some of their religious rites, and um, one of which is about fasting, right? And I said, well, what if you're ill? What if you're in a hospital? What if you're about to give birth? Like, you can't. And they said to me, well, these are rules for living, not rules for dying. Like, if you have to, yeah, of course. You know, if you're gonna die if you fast, don't fucking fast. I was like, oh, okay. But to an outsider, we might not know that. We might be like, oh my god, that's quite fucking barbaric, isn't it? You're denying a pregnant woman a glass of water. Um, so you've got rules, and you've got your take on the world, and you've got your story of how the world came to be, and all that kind of stuff. And everyone's got their sort of degrees of how much they believe in it. And like, I've got scientist friends who are religious. Phil Morehouse is religious. And then you've got to say, well, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line between, God creating the universe and the Big Bang and everything else? If the Bible is literally true, then God created the universe 6,000 years ago. And I'm sorry to say, I don't think that's possible given the half-life of, I don't know, uranium-238. Or the fact that we can see stars that are 13 billion light years away. Unless 13 billion years have elapsed, how can we see those stars? But yeah, the people who are religious will have their own rules to live by, as everyone does. So my rule, for me, always eat stuff when it's given to you when you're traveling. Never travel with a towel. Never travel in a 3. It's a very bad number. Never travel in a 3. Never. Don't do it. 1 is okay. 2 is it's great, especially if you're a couple. 3 is shite. 4 is okay. 5 is okay. Any more than that, fine. Except you might take a while to come to a decision to where to go. If you're traveling in a 3, there's always one person who feels left out. One person's going to be like, let's go to the museum. And then the other person's going to be like, I don't want to go to the museum. And then the third person's like, I want to go to the museum. And then someone's going to feel left out. Never travel in a 3. Never travel in a 3. And never travel in a 3, especially if there's a couple and you are the third wheel with the couple. Unless you're having some kind of love-in, unless you're having some polyamory going on there. That's fair enough. But, so I've got my rules. I've got my rules that I live by. I don't travel in the 3. I don't take drugs as a rule. I won't go to the bar to get myself another drink unless I finish the drink that I'm drinking. It's an important rule for me because I'm like, I've got to pace myself. Also, although I am clearly having this beer, right? And I'm not really alone because Pickle's here. Hey, Pickle, the dog. But generally speaking, when I'm back in the UK, when I'm in, when I'm at my mum's or when I'm with Catherine, I don't drink unless someone else is drinking. Like, that's my rule. It's not a hard and fast rule, but generally speaking, I will not drink unless I've got someone to drink with. And the way I look at this is like, at the end of the day, been working hard. It's been hot and sweaty, covered in sawdust, and it's nice to chill out at the boat dock and have a beer. And I'd rather have this beer talking to you and having a bit of a two-way conversation through the chat function than if it was on my own. I don't know if you'd even have a drink, to be honest with you. It's all your fault. You drove me to drink. I'm joking, you didn't. But so I have my rules to live by, and they're not informed by religion. Maybe slightly they are. Maybe it's because I did have a nominally Christian upbringing in school, and obviously was a choir boy for a bit. But I would never, ever demand that you follow the same rules as me. What works for me, it works for me, right? That's the way I want to live my life. But to turn around and say to someone else who isn't the same religion, even if they are the same religion as you, but let's just say they're not the same religion as you, and say, these are my rules for living. I would never have sex with a man. And you're like, okay, cool, you don't have to. Yeah, but I want you to never have sex with a man either. Why? What the fuck has it got to do with you? I'd never do that. It's against my religion. Okay, well, don't. But also, don't tell me what I am and not allowed to do. Simple as that. There's a certain level of arrogance, I feel, with those people who want to tell other people how to live their life. Like, it goes back to what I was talking about yesterday, where I was saying the biggest thing I'd like to change with the way humans exist and perceive themselves, etc. The biggest thing I'd like to change, if I could, is this idea that you're not that you're always right, but that what worked for you, what works for you, will automatically work for everybody else. I wish we would stop thinking this way. I know a lot of good people who think this way. They're not out to get me. They're not out to get you. Not out to get anyone. But they genuinely believe that just because something worked for them, and whether it was a thing that helped them kick their addiction or lose weight, or the way that they interacted with their children when they were very little, or whatever it was, it worked for them, and that's great. And if they want to tell me that that worked for them, cool. But if they want to demand that I fucking do it because it worked for them, even though I'm sitting there going, well, I know it doesn't work for me because I've tried it and it didn't fucking work, so whatever, is incredibly infuriating. And I will just take the religious aspect out of this, because this isn't a religious thing like that. Like, people do it whether they're religious or not. I wish humans would get down at their fucking high horse and just be a little bit more empathetic and a little bit more humble and go, okay, I will give my advice. If I was in this same situation, this is what I would do. I was in a similar situation a few years ago, and this is what I did. And leave it at that. Leave it at that. Don't be screaming at people, no, you must do it my way or the highway. And I'm like, not good, not good. I'll go back into your chat. So I'm going to head over into the chat for a little bit. Oh my God, there's loads of chats. See, I didn't see. The flying spaghetti monster was a recognised religion some years ago. Yeah. Are there bats flying around chasing cheetahs and mozzies, and do they roost under your roof? Yes, there are bats flying around. I saw 3 while I was setting up to do this, but it wasn't even dark yet. And no, they don't roost in here. Wasps roost. What? Wasps roost? I don't know why I can't say that anymore. Wasps roost in the roof here. Actually, I haven't seen any wasp nests this time that I've been here. I don't know. I know I've got to replace this roof. But yes, there are bats. There are bats. We do have bats. I'm a follower of Brian Cox, the actor or the physicist who played the keyboards for DV. Just read, Ukraine has defeated over 80,000 Shahed drones since the start, and Trump has faced less than 2 and is freaking out. Lol. Yeah. Trump, the American administration asking Ukraine for help with their war is, it's not quite chef's kiss because of the, connotations of it all, but at the same time, fucking hell. Not all ADHD meds are stimulant-based. Having tried some without a diagnosis, had no measurable impact for me. Still as distracted and unfocused as ever, says Phil. I don't know. I don't know if it's really having an effect. I've got my end of titration meeting tomorrow with my psychologist tomorrow. Through a Teams meeting. I don't know. I think it has. I look at what I've achieved since I started taking it. And one of the big things was like doing the basement up in our house in Durham. And it looks boss now. It looks absolutely fucking boss. But one thing that really sticks out to me is the fact that I was like halfway through laying the floor, and I assumed that it was like 6 o'clock at night or something. I looked at my watch, and it was only like 3 in the afternoon, and I was like, wow, okay, cool, got a lot more time left, and I think I was more productive. I think a part of that reason the medication was helping me the task at hand instead of what I normally do, which is the best ever example of the ADHD mind is the intro to Malcolm in the Middle, where Hal, the dad, he turns the light on and the bulb goes. So he goes into the cupboard to get a new bulb, and he pulls a drawer out, but the drawers, the drawer makes a noise, so he tries to get some WD-40, and then he realises he's out of WD-40, and then he goes into the garage. I know this isn't quite right what happens, but this is, generally, one thing leads to another. He goes into the garage, and then he realises that there's something wrong with the car, and it ends up with Lois, the wife, coming in and saying, "Have you changed the bulb in the kitchen?" And he slides out from under a car that he's fixing, covered in oil, going, "What does it look like I'm doing?" And I was like, perfect, absolutely perfect encapsulation of what it's like to live in an ADHD mind. And I'm feeling that a little bit here on the island. I've got my phone out, and I'll be making notes as I just pick up on different things that need fixing or doing. But when it comes to actually going, okay, we've got a job to do, and we're working on this job, I feel like I'm being less distracted. I feel like I'm not wasting as much time as I used to, like having, going upstairs and finding biscuits or whatever I did, or finding another job to get on with. I mean, I wrote a book called the Brexit Cookbook, and I wrote that book. I got it published because I was supposed to be making a website for what was then Labour Social. And I had these 3 videos to edit to go on the website for these 3 Labour MPs. But instead I wrote a fucking book about how to make food out of pigeons. Because there's going to be no nice food left after Brexit. So that happened. Yeah, so, I do think it's having an effect. Another thing, I think I'm getting a side effect, is that my jaw, I keep clenching my jaw quite a lot. And then at the moment, my jaw's a bit sore because I feel like I'm clenching it, which I never used to do. So I don't know if that's a side effect. But no effects without side effects. My own rule is to hurt no one or anything. It's worked quite well for 56 years, with the odd attachment when someone has attacked me. Amendment when someone has attacked me. Well, that's a good question, Danishad, that you're talking there about. Like, what if someone attacks you? And what do you do? Like, you just want to be kind, and you don't. You just, there's a part of you that thinks, oh, want to get my own back. That natural sort of, fisticuffs down thing. And like, oh, someone's hurt me, I'm going to hurt them. But then, I don't know. I think in this world that we live in at the moment, especially if you've got a bit of a platform on the internet or something, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I just think, life's too short, and what good will it do? Like retaliating and kicking off and making a big fuss and all that kind of stuff. I just think, you know what? If for whatever reason someone, has a beef with me, I just whatever, okay. What does bother me, and this has happened to me a few times, is when someone who has been close to you and everything just fucking ghost. I really do. I get it, because I know why we fell out, but not knowing, I'm sure some of you have had this experience, like, when someone like stops talking to you and you're not quite sure what you've done wrong, and you're like, can you tell me what I've done wrong? and they don't fucking tell you. They just don't respond, and you're like, okay, I'm upset that this person doesn't want to hang out with me anymore, and that happens, you know. I can be quite abrasive. I can be quite, you know, annoying. But like, just tell me what it was, right? Not necessarily so I can fix it. Maybe it's gone beyond the point of repair. Fair enough. But tell me, because I don't want to do it to anyone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go on like this big blundering idiot, just like upsetting people everywhere I go. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, be kind, be kind. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And don't start beefs with people if you absolutely have to. Right, Spect, 40 minutes caught up, I think. Hi, it's Pickle is still here. Yeah, Pickle's there. Pickle the dog. Pickle the dog is just chilling out. Does Graham need need a bat box? Another evening pleasure for his hammock. Be evening time and nature connections. Ooh, a bat box. What happens in a bat box? I'd like a bat phone. Wouldn't it be cool to have like a big phone and just answer it? It'd be so cool. Lee Corn says, I'm on for ADHD, and it made me calmer and less overwhelmed and grumpy, but I can still get distracted easily and hyper-focus on the wrong things. You can call yourself whatever you want in front of me, even if you want to be a helicopter or a moon probe. This is my haze of the ruling class. Someone telling me what to be. Yeah, down our shed. Completely agree with you on that. Like, and it's not just the ruling class. People just do it. People just have this thing of like, they want to put you in a box, and if you refuse to go in the box, it pisses them off. It like makes them viscerally angry. Why won't you get in the box? Why won't you just be normal? And you're sitting there going, well, there's no such thing as normal, and why should I live a normal life? And, you know, we're only here once, and I don't want to. Simple as that, you know. I might succeed, I might fail, but on my own terms, please. Thank you. Please. Um, I have no PX, just getting by, but as an older person, the whole ASD, ADHD stuff has passed me by. I do protest against anyone who suggests I am ASD or ADHD, says Phil. You shouldn't, mate. Just have a look. Have a look. Oh, I don't know how much the medications helped me, to be honest with you, but getting the diagnosis helped me. It helped me. It really helped me. First of all, forgive myself for doing daft shit in the past, but also it helped me restructure how I do things and put a few things in place. It also helped me with my relationship in terms of Catherine understanding why I was a bit shit at certain things. Just like remembering where things went in the kitchen. So that's good. And so now when I ask her, where does that pan go? She doesn't get angry at me. She doesn't go, for fuck's sake, Graham, I told you 15 times, you know where it goes. She just goes, oh yeah, you can't remember that because your brain doesn't think it's important. Because it's not important. It can go anywhere. It's a fucking pan, who cares? And my brain working against me there. But yeah, so for that, I am grateful. I am grateful that I understand that my brain's a bit different, and that's fine. And I don't see it as a disorder, to be honest with you. I think it's fucking great. I do wonder if if I hadn't been ADHD, if I could manage to go to every country in the world without flying when no one else had done it ever before. You know, prove it was possible. You know, not some Johnny come lately just copying what someone else had fucking done. No, trailblazer. There was no one else to forge that path before I did it, and I proved it was possible. I didn't quite climb to the top of Everest. I mean, that's far too much fucking exertion. But what Norgay Tenzing and Hillary and then Hillary did when they climbed to the top of Everest in the 50s, they proved it was possible. That was what they did. Keep too many jobs. I suggested keeping bees when Marcus was there. Was a constant caring hobby, and there's not enough long-term impact and deal with Miles. Says Andrew. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, to be honest with you, mate, I mean, when I'm not here, nothing gets done. Like literally nothing gets done. And so, yeah, trying to look after anything. I'm trying to set things up so it's like long term until I get to come here again in a year's time or whatever. Things will just tick along nicely. But fuck me, just between you and me, because you're watching this, we have a water tank, right? And then the water goes through a water filter, which looks like a massive tampon, right? And basically, you need to change this every month because as the water filters into it, it becomes greyer and greyer and more dirty and more dirty and more greyer. And oh my God, the state of the water filter when I got here, I was like, it was literally the first thing I bought when I went over to Bocas the other day. I just walked straight into the shop and went, water filter, please. Yep, thank you. And this isn't the drinking, but I mean, we don't drink the water that we collect off the roof. It's for having a shower or washing the dishes or flushing the toilet. But still, I mean, fucking hell. Yeah. Maintenance, my friends, maintenance. And it's like, I mean, you do maintenance in your own home, don't you? When things break or when things, need cleaning or whatever. But I just think that, like, on a tropical island, maintenance is like so important. Like it is just a daily battle against the elements that just want to fuck shit up for no good reason. And basic, my nasty neighbour came banging on my door last year, threatening and angry. I laughed at him when he was sitting in the gutter after a quick jab. Oh dear, don't be hitting people. But Paul, Blue Badger, Christians are not supposed to tell you about their religion unless they're asked to do it. Really? Have you told the Jehovah's Witnesses that? Have you told the Mormons? I'd love to know. It's silly to have grief with neighbours. Home should be peaceful, but sometimes you get real social misfits next door. It can ruin a home. Yeah, impersonator. I completely appreciate that situation. When someone moves in next door and they're fucking awful, it can ruin people's lives. That's a good example. Hits a comedic note, but true, and the conflict of failure of many a relationship. I've got about 50 projects I've started and not finished or spent a lot of time planning and not done anything with. Yeah, that sounds familiar, Lee. I got a book called Development Hell. And defending a shit situation, says Danishan. Same here, Lee. I can think of 10 jobs I can really tackle tomorrow. Lee says clenching the jaw can be a side effect stim. I found myself repeatedly flicking my tongue against the bottom teeth and starting the meds. Okay, well I'll ask my psychologist about that. In the grand scale of things, well, what can we do? Waste time being loud and argumentative, or just be focused on the cool stuff of being alive? Phil, focus on the cool stuff of being alive. That's why I don't do debates on this channel. The closest I get to debates on this channel is when, like, me and Phil or me and Mikey have a fucking, a miscommunication. Like, honestly, I don't want to get these knobheads to come on my channel, like, to, these right-wing twats to come and have an argument with me, and so we can, like, do that whole thing where, they sit down with the people in the circle and they have, like a 15-second debate, and they press a button and then someone else comes and sits on the seat. I don't want that to me. It just seems like really stressful. Like why would you want that? Why would you? I don't know. Not entertaining. I'd rather try and get a little community together. To have a nice time. It's a nightmare, says Lee. I wanted to do a lot of things this weekend, but decided to try and replace my toilet flush. Found I bought the wrong type. I bought the wrong type of bloody taps to replace the tap that is broken in our shower. So now, when every time the water pump on, the shower turns on, you can't turn it off because the taps are fucked. Then my wife accidentally broke the fill mechanism, so I had to buy more parts. Then find out whoever fitted the toilet seat to glued the system to the wall. They can't access the pipes. Oh no! Bat box, small device that picks up sonar, turns it into sound, and you can hear where and how close the bats are. Oh, like a bat radar. Oh, that's cool, Phil. Sorry, I thought you said bat box. I just thought like a bed box, like to keep a bed in. I thought, oh, you're gonna have bats living here. I don't want bats living in my belfry, in my boat shed here, because if I did have bats up in the rafters here, we'll get guano, we'll get bat shit all over the floor, and it's really acidic and it fucks your wood. And it stinks. Oh god, it stinks. I'm on some ATNI confusion publicity pile myself. I can't read this. Halfway through making a sandwich to start a new project, says Liam. Yes. Gabba the Punk died today. Sad for that. Was a big part of Chaos UK, who were from Portishead, where I lived when I was young, and I knew him at school. Oh, that's sad. Down a shed. Portishead, obviously famous for the band Portishead, who were just fucking great, weren't they, in the 1990s? They only do 2 albums. They just do Dummy and Portishead. Is that it? Oh my god, there could be Legionnaires' disease in that tank. No, because we put bleach in it. Sorry, we don't drink it. Sorry to hear that, Dan Shed. We are at the age where sadly our entertainers are dying. I mean, 2016, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, how many people fucking died? It was like Death Central. It was like if you were a celebrity, it was like, oh my god. I thought all the celebrities should wear t-shirts saying, I survived. 2016. Okay, so, what time is it now? It is 23 minutes past 8 here. So what you'll do, you get another 7 minutes of me before I totter off into the darkness. Can't see the path anymore, can you? I make some din-dins for myself because I am quite hungry. But before we go, has anyone got any questions? Anyone got any questions like, I don't know, Ginger Island, or me, or just, I don't know. I was supposed to be talking about the news, but this is kind of like midnight musings, isn't it? Night all, need to go to bed, yeah, so do I. If it's standing water, it can still get natty. Yeah, that's true. Put a bit of bleach in it, mate. A bit of chlorine. It's alright. I am tempted, actually, to, at some point, probably when I leave, get Ishmael to empty the tank out and clean it. You have to climb inside the tank to clean it. It's a really grim job. But yeah, I suppose that'll probably be a good idea. What's the dog called? Pickle. Pickle. Hey, see, she knows her name. Dog is called Pickle. So originally, she was called Jean-Luc Picard, but then we found out that she was a girl. It's a rescue pup. So, so we changed her name to Pickle. Very cute. Worst guard dog ever, aren't you? She never barks. What you want is like a dog that if someone comes to the island, they bark, so you know that someone's come to the island, right? We've got 2.5 boat dogs here, so it's kind of useful to know if someone's on the island, right? She doesn't bark. She does know how to bark. I've heard her bark a couple of times, but yeah, she doesn't bark. But she's cute, so we keep her. Pickle rescue dog loves you. Oh, she's lovely. She's very lovely. We love her. But yeah, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. All dogs are good boys, except for the girls. Then they're good girls. So it's still International Women's Day here in Panama. It's obviously past midnight in the UK, so you've moved on a day. So one day closer to International Men's Day at the end of November, in case anyone was whinging about the thing. Where's the International Men's Day? It's every other fucking day of the year. If you're in Canada right now, like International Women's Day is like you only get one day a year, and they've reduced it to 23 hours because of daylight savings, and it's kicking in tonight in Canada. Can I recommend a great show to watch on YouTube, The Cult of Dusty with Dusty Smith? He's an American who pretty much hits the nail on the head every show. He does a show 3 times a week. Oh, okay. Thanks, John. I will check that out. The Cult of Dusty. My partner's currently reading the 3rd part of the Book of Dust. Philip Pullman's trilogy sequel prequel thing to his Dark Materials. Yeah. Who looks after the pooch when you're gone? Well, Ishmael. Ishmael lives on the island. So Ishmael, if you ever watch any of those bits where, I mean, you might have seen him leaving this morning when I did the show. He lives here full time, and I pay him to live here. So I pay him rent to live on my island, because if there was no one here, everything would get robbed. This hammock would get robbed. All this wood down here would get robbed. This entire structure that I'm in would get robbed. Absolutely, 100%, no doubt about it. It would all get robbed. The house would get robbed, and when I say the house would get robbed, I mean like everything that is takeawayable of the house, even if it's nailed down. So all the wood panelings, the fridge, the loo, the floorboards, the kitchen sink, the fridge, the cooker, everything must go. Everything will go. Everything has gone. It's happened before. Solar panels, obviously, solar inverters, solar controllers, the batteries, the solar batteries, yeah, all gone, all gone. Unless you have someone living here. So it's worth my investment to pay someone to live here. And I wish that more people who are landlords saw their property the way I see this property. You know? The way it should be is that when someone moves into a property that you own but don't live in, they become the custodian of that property. And what they do is they come in and out every day. They stay the night there and make sure no one breaks in and burns the place down or pisses in the wall, in the corner, or smears shit on the wall. They make sure that the pipes don't burst, or if they do, that someone comes and sorts it out immediately. They make sure that, you know, there's no mould growing on the walls. If there is, get sorted out. You know, they'll inform you. They'll say, listen, there's mould growing on the walls, so you can do something about it. Because you only go there once every 6 months if you really have to. Because that's what landlords do. Even though it's a proper job, it's a real job. It's an actual real job. So what do you do? Well, I decorate a house badly and take money off someone else. No. I think the Renters' Rights Charter should rebrand renters as custodians. And I think not only should we not have rent, it should be abolished. Let's abolish rent. I think that landlords, landladies, landowners should pay people to look after their shit. Pay people to look after their assets, to open the windows so the place doesn't fucking die of mould. But we don't do that, do we? No. We get people to work somewhere else, come home, and give half of their pay to pay off someone else's fucking mortgage. And it's completely unjustifiable. Do you know, you ever have this conversation with an actual fucking landlord? Oh my God, the shit you get, the grief you get, the psychotic looks that you get. Just saying. No, let it rot if they're not paying you, lol. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, yeah. Shout out to Ishmael, keeps the island going as sound. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, does the island have a volcano? I would love it to have a volcano. That would be so freaking cool. But no, unfortunately, it does not have a volcano. Maybe I should draw one on the wall. Midnight Junglist. Jinja, side mission, big up, says Paulie Donkey. Hello, Paulie Donkey. Jacaranda Basement says Baymax 77. You knows it. Jesus Christ. Do you know what? Yeah, I was 1 week ago. 1 week ago exactly. It was the night of my birthday, and I was down in the Jacaranda Basement. How crazy is that? Oh no, it was not a week ago. week and a day ago. It's Sunday today, isn't it? I'm losing track of days. I was also in the Jack around the 2 weeks prior to that as well. I always end up in the Jack, don't I? Corporations, it's a fucking boss, man. I mean, the live music, incredible. Corporations should not be allowed to own housing that's for living. I don't think that you should be allowed to own more than one house. Why do you need more than one house? Why? Explain. I need more than one house. Why? Oh, because I want to spend some time in one house. I don't know. Cat owns the house in the UK. I own the house here. That works out. Got one each. The entitlement of wealth. Exactly. There's down a shed. Landlords, which triggers a Dead Kennedy song for me. It triggers a Carter the Unstoppable Sex Machine song for me, which is Sheriff Fat Man. Fat Man started out on the Starship Enterprise Allowance Scheme with the Prince of Wales Award for shifting amphetamines and Valium. Or maybe Valium and amphetamines. I don't know, one of the two. Moving up on second base behind Nicholas Van, what's his face? 6'6" and 100 tons, the undisputed king of the slums. I think we all know a show of Fat Man, don't we? Hedge funds need to keep the working class out of home ownership. I think hedge funds are the worst fucking things, aren't they? They're the ones that hedge the bets against a company, and they say, this company, I'm going to destroy this company and take all of its assets. I place a bet that it's going to fail after I take it over and fuck it. It's just a bad place, isn't it? Fresh fruit for rotting vegetables, says down a hot shed. So a Bond supervillain in reverse, says Liam Devlin. Liam M. Devlin. Yeah, basically I'm a reverse Bond villain. Am I? Am I Pickle? Am I? Pickle's gone to sleep. Okay, so Pickle's got the right idea. I'm going to go make some food. I'm fucking starving. But before I go, I'm going to read Phil's last message, which says, I had a work colleague who made the funny observation that I have many more toilets than arseholes in my house. Fair play and funny. Never have enough toilets. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock your time, if you're watching this in the UK. 1 o'clock GMT, 8 o'clock for my time here on Jinja Island. I don't know if they've shifted across the time zones in New York at the moment, but maybe if you're watching in New York, it might actually be at 2 o'clock. At 9 o'clock. But for me, it's going to be 8 o'clock. All right. So give us a like on the way out. Thank you so much for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the super chats. You're awesome. Thank you. And until next time, I'll say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.